We're going to take a quick look at how you can set up your Red Paddle Co 3-piece paddle when your package arrives. Now the paddle doesn't come assembled, so we're going to walk through that process now so I can get rid of that. Within your board box or board bag, you will find a 3-piece paddle. Now this has biodegradable outer packaging on, so I can remove that and get rid of this. And then I'm going to remove the blade cover off the blade. And there's some final covering on the shaft that I'm going to slide up and remove. I'm ready to go. Now, 3-piece paddles come in 3 sections, as it says, and the bottom section is the first section, that is the blade section. We then have a central shaft section, and these 2 sections are tethered together. The final section is the adjustable handle that you'll find in the top. So the first thing I need to do is pop together the shaft section and the middle section, and to do this I'm going to need a crosshead or Phillips screwdriver. So the first thing I need to do is adjust this lower cam lock. So this is a gated cam lock and it has a gate on it with a screw. And all I need to do is a few turns is to back off the screw just to loosen the cam lock so I can make sure it's in the correct position to receive the blade section. Now you can line this up on the outside of the cam lock. There is a small notch that will drop into a hole in the shaft. And if I line that up, I know that is positioned correctly. And then I can pop a couple of turns back on the screw just to make sure it's tight enough to secure the shaft. I can then open the gate, and using one hand to hold the shaft, I'm then going to use my thumb to push in the push pin. So this is a securing push pin, and that slots into place, and you should hear a click, and that confirms that it's in the correct position. I can then close the gate on the cam lock, and just making sure it's got enough tension on it. So this shouldn't be too tight that you have to force it, but also needs to apply enough tension to secure the lower section in place. So I'm actually going to do a couple of turns on that now just to make sure it's got a little bit more tension in it. And that lower section is now ready to go. Now that my paddle is fully assembled, it's time to adjust it so it's the right height for me. Now you can adjust the top handle of your paddle by opening the singular gate on the top, and when it's open, this allows me to adjust the handle up and down so I can find the right height. Once I've found the right height for me, I'll then close the gate, and that secures the handle in place so I'm ready to paddle. Now to find the right height for you, there's a couple of tips that you can use. The first one is to pop your paddle next to you, and then with an extended arm overhead, just put a floppy hand over the top, and that will give you a rough indication as to where your paddle should be. The second option is to make a shaka, so an outstretched thumb and finger, pop that on top of your head, and again that should give you a similar ballpark figure of where your paddle should be. But of course you can play around with this when you're out on the water, and ultimately your paddle should feel comfortable for you. Again, once my paddle's at the right height, close the gate and it is secured in place. My paddle is now ready to hit the water, and really important to remember the positioning of your paddle. So the blade should always be kicked out away from you, and that is the correct position for your paddle. This will allow for a really efficient draw stroke when we're paddling through the water. So there you are, that's how to set up your 3-piece paddle. Time to hit the water. Happy paddling.